Thank you very much indeed. As you rightly mentioned, I'm a teacher. So if you permit me, I would also like to move around. Because this is a dialogue section, we should be able to interact among ourselves. I know you guys are going to ask me questions, and if need be, too, I got to ask you some questions later. So, the title of my paper, as you can see, it talks about West Africa Monetary Zone and currency development, aligning with the BRICS currency strategy. This title, it was what Prof sent to me, and I actually work on it. But I have a little amendment here. I didn't amend it onto this section, and I will tell you the reason. The issue of aligning with the BRICS currency strategy. I will disagree with the word aligning completely. I will prefer, let me say similar to, because we are not aligning. The issue of currency, we need to look at the political and economic. And in Africa, we are really interested in the economic angle. The BRICS, guys, if you put it in a scale of 1 to 10, I will say the political angle is about 9. But in WAMS, we are interested, we look at the political as well as the economic, but we are looking at the economic benefit. So audience, at times when you see alignment and I change it, you know the reason why I'm not aligning, because I wanted to even accuse Prof before that. You see a Russian train, that was, but I didn't ask him that question up to now. So the outline of my presentation, as you can see, we are going to look at the WAMS and the strategy for monetary union, the roadmap for launch of ECHO. The authorities of head of state approved 10 roadmaps, clearly articulated that they approve for us, and we need to, so I'm going to show you those roadmaps as we go on. Then the status of macroeconomic convergence, what we have done, where we are, what challenges, I'm going to articulate those one later. Then macroeconomic convergence criteria, we will need to look at the primary convergence criteria as well as the secondary convergence criteria. Are we able to achieve this one where we are having the issue? I will also talk about that. Then what we have achieved in WAMS, precisely in WAMI. If we look at those roadmaps, what have we achieved? This area we have achieved, I will talk about it. And the few challenges, we will also talk about it. Then the other parts of the presentation will focus on the BRICS and the genesis of de-dollarization, the global picture, the aligning with the BRICS. I told you I have a reservation about that aligning, and the challenges of the proposed BRICS currency, and we prefer the conclusion. We have the conclusion and the way forward. So I quickly go to the evolution of WAMS monetary integration program. When we talk about integration, I like the way MC put it. We need to work together. We need to strengthen our relationship. Integration, looking at monetary angle, we need to look at the payment system, the fiscal, the monetary, the exchange rate. We need to integrate in all these ramifications. The statistical harmonization, the laws, the rules and regulations, the banking, the non-banking, we need to, the insurance, we need to look at this. But since we are looking at the evolution here, the ECOWAS monetary integration program commenced right from the formation of ECOWAS in 1975 by the 15 West Africa countries. And these countries are the 18 UEMOA country, 8 UEMOA country and the 6 WAMS country with Cape Verde, making 15. The part of the expanded objective of the ECOWAS, which all of us are fully aware of, was to ultimately to establish the socio-economic community in the region for purpose of economic integration. and the realization of these objectives within the Africa community. So economic strengthening, economic collaboration is very key in this idea. To achieve this objective, it became fundamental to establish the creation of monetary union and introduction of single currency by ECOWAS. And this is backed up by the Article 3 and 4, as well as Article 51 and 55 of ECOWAS Treaty of 1975, revised in 1993. Then some of the historical events leading to the establishment of WAMS are what you have on the slide there. We have the creation of the West Africa Clearing House. The other one that leads to that, we have the ideas of single currencies, which we are proposing the ECO. The idea is to have single currency and one central bank. One single currency, one central bank. That is the ECO now. And you now have the central bank that will drive that initiative. Then we have the adoption of the ECOWAS Monetary Cooperation Program, EMCP, in 1987 to introduce a single currency in ECOWAS. All these ideas are the basic ideas that our forefathers have then. And gradually, since it's a dialogue section, I'm not going to read all these slides for you because the university, the professor, they will send the slide to you later. So WAMS and its strategy for monetary union, we talk about the establishment. Precisely in 1999, the authorities of head of state decided to adopt the fast-track approach toward the achievement of the ECOWAS Monetary Cooperation Program, and leading to the signing of the WAMS agreement in year 2000 in Accra here. And this idea is to fast-track the monetary union in the West African region. The establishment of WAMI, West African Monetary Institute, came into place in the year March 20, 2001. And as I've told you, WAMS, when you look at the countries there, we have the Gambia, we have Ghana, we have Guinea, we have Nigeria, Liberia, and Sierra Leone. These are the 6 countries that are driving this initiative. And I must say that the fiscal authorities of the member states, as well as the monetary authority, they've given us 100% support. And I also have to mention here that the roadmap, by the time I show you the roadmap, they are really assisting the regional institution to drive these initiatives. So we go to the next slide. I need to quickly tell you the strategic pillar we have in WAMI. Where one of the pillars is macroeconomic convergence and statistical harmonization. We need to harmonize our statistics as well as, if you go to our website now, we have a robust statistical database and harmonization, all the 4 macroeconomic accounts, the monetary and financial, the risk sector, the balance of payment, that is the external sector, as well as the fiscal. We are looking at how to strengthen this. So the other pillar talks about the trade and regional integration, where you talk about import-export now. And one of our discussions today is how to deepen this trade relationship. Then the other issue is the financial integration. Under the financial integration, I remember I told you earlier, we have the banking, we have the non-banking, we have the insurance sector, we have the capital market, the domestic debt, as well as the capital market, and how far we have gone in all these areas. I will mention it later. Then we talk about the payment system development. What have we done in the area of payment system? One of the initiatives that I will discuss with you is the PAPS, Pan-African Payment Systems and Settlement. We've gone far. And if you go to your bank now, some of these banks, you have the menu there. So you can transfer, you want to buy items or you want to buy goods or services in Nigeria with your cedi, you just go to the bank and you don't have to look for dollar. And it will be done within a twinkle of an eye. So the other pillar is the what we call the institutional and capacity building. And one of the things we are doing here is capacity building, sensitization, dialoguing, workshop, and all those things. So we do capacity building across. We have researchers too that do cutting-edge research, novel cutting-edge research in all areas of economic development. And I told you we get the support of the fiscal as well as the monetary authority of the member state. So they send experts to us that work for a couple of years before they go back to their various countries. Then some of the strategy of the monetary union, we quickly discuss this one. The West Africa, the ONCE monetary integration program is anchored on the achievement of the primary convergence criteria. The 4 primary criteria, I will show it in one of the slides shortly. But the ONCE monetary union is a model on the EU approach. We all know the EU now. We know that apart from the dollar we are talking about, we talk about the euro. So these are some of the issues that are there. We talk about the legal and institutional framework. We talk about the monetary policy framework, exchange rate mechanism, reserve pooling, solidarity and stabilization fund, central bank statutes, and payments system framework. This is very key because you cannot do efficient trading without having efficient infrastructure in area of payment system development. And we talk about the capital account liberalization, the banking supervisions, and all the rest. So if you go to the idea here is just to show you some of the basic stories as far as that one is concerned. We talk about, we were practicing the double track approach before the authority approved a single track, and you can see the objective there of this is to introduce single currency in the ONCE by July 2015. This was not achieved. The introduction of this currency by the ECOWAS then was shifted to 2020. But thereafter, the authority met and they look at the roadmap, one after the other. Now we have up to 2027 to achieve this laudable initiative. I don't know why you guys are laughing. The ECHO go to history, how many years? More than 40 years to achieve that. This is, we have not spent up to that, but so the timeline has been given to us, and we have this milestone articulated. So we got to get there before 2027. So we are now there, the roadmap for launching of ECHO. The authorities of head of state, as I've told you, these are what the area they approve for us. The macroeconomic convergence and stability part, we have that. And under the macroeconomic and stability part, you have strengthened multilateral surveillance mechanism in ECOWAS. As I speak with you, regularly use ECOWAS, WAMI, and WAMA. They do this multilateral surveillance, visit the fiscal authority of member states, visit the monetary authority of member states to get the relevant information to see whether they are able to meet the primary criteria and the secondary criteria. If they have not, what is the policy recommendation? Those ones are there. Then the other issue that the authority also approved is the harmonization of the legal framework of the monetary union. The other one is the preparation of exchange rate policy framework. This one is very key. Then you have the preparation for the monetary policy framework. The other issue, which I mentioned earlier, is the harmonization of statistical standard and practice. This is very key. Without harmonizing the statistics, you are going nowhere. So now the 4 macroeconomic accounts of members say we need to harmonize it. And the first thing is that you have to adopt the system of national account for the GDP compilation. You cannot, all over the world, people use the methodology of system of national account to do their, and you have SNA 2008 there. Then you talk about harmonization of balance of payment. Thereafter, you talk about the harmonization of the monetary and fiscal. All the 4 accounts are clearly stated there. The consumer price index. Without getting the price index, you use, that's your inflation now. You need to have a clear methodology in all the member countries to be able to compute the CPI and the government account too. Then the other sector, the other activity you have in the roadmap is the preparation of the framework for financial integration. This one is very key, and I told you earlier that as far as WAMI is concerned now, we've gone far in this area. The banking, and as well as non-bank financial institution, we have members of the college that are driving that process, and they've gone far. Then we talk about the payment systems in the WAMs. Here, I told you we have the PAPs and the harmonization of the fiscal policy. Then these are the subcomponents you have under the fiscal policy. You talk about harmonization of public debt management, harmonization of public accounts, harmonization of public finance law, and harmonization of budgetary process, as well as the legal text that you need for public procurement. Then you have the building of capacity building in area of and regional structure. This one is very key. We need to build the capacity of the relevant stakeholders that are involved in this process. Then 2027, you talk about the launch of the ECHO. The various activities, milestones are clearly stated. So these are the milestones approved by the authority for us. As I've said earlier, these are the 4 primary convergence criteria. You have the inflation rate there. The inflation rate of less or equal to 5% annual inflation rate. This is a challenge. Now, you can see that most of the country we have, you can see outcome, I say none. Out of they are not able to meet this 5% rate. Is a big challenge. And we know that because this is a global issue anyway. Thank you, Joe. So the other item you have under the primary convergence is the fiscal deficit issue. Just a minute. Yeah, the fiscal deficit, including grants, as a percentage of GDP, this must be at least 3%. And within the WAMs, it's only 2 that was able to meet this as at 2022. Then the central banking of finance of fiscal deficit. The threshold there is that the central bank finance of government fiscal deficit not more than 10% of the previous year's revenue rather. 3 countries out of the 6 countries were able to meet this. So the external reserve too, at least 3 months of import cover, you have that, and the secondary criteria are clearly stated there. Then the macroeconomic convergence, as I've said, just it's not all the countries that are able to meet the criteria are clearly stated there. So some of the laudable achievement of WAMs, we have achieved improvement in area of macroeconomic positions of member states on account of WAMI. Then in terms of financial integration, the domestic debt, the capital market integration is going, and it has gone far. So you can see we have a plus there. This one, we have a robust statistical database and harmonization, the CPI. We brought member states. We've conducted training, sensitization workshop for them. That has been done. And in area of payment system, I told you we have a robust payment system in place now. At least PAPS is there for us to do our transaction efficiently within the member state. So these are some of the laudable achievements. And I need to quickly mention some of the challenges. We had several postponements. Look at the postponement: 2003, 2005, 2009, 2015, 2022. These are various postponements. Member states do not prepare national convergence. These are some of the challenges. Since we are going to have this paper, I think I will leave out some of those slides. Then the BRICS, now we need to, the objective of the BRICS is to establish an economic bloc for mutual interests of member states. Yeah, okay, they say I have 2 minutes or 1. Oh, okay, sorry. These are the objectives, initiative, but we, Mr. Moderator, if you permit me, some historical part to currency dominance. We have the Spanish during the 16th century, 17th century, the Dutch, the powerful German guys dominated them. 18th to 19th century, we have the British pound. Later in 19th century, the British pounds and the gold standard. 20th and 21st century, you have the US dollar that the BRICS guys are saying, oh, well, without you, we can survive. And we will get there when we come to probably question and answer section. The other one is the new era for struggle, which we call the struggle for new currency dominance. That is where we are now. So these are some of the two. This is the issue between the single currency as well as the BRICS. And in terms of alignment, maybe when it comes to question and answer section, we can quickly discuss the monetary policy coordination. Because in WAMS, in West African Monetary Zone, there's proper coordination in the member state central bank. And the other activities there are clearly stated, Mr. Moderator. These are some of the challenges there, then the conclusions, and since we are going to have this paper, and he is already disturbing me, he doesn't want me to conclude, but if you permit me, my brother, I will say that as far as WAMS is concerned, what we need is proper coordination and support, the fiscal as well as the monetary support. And I told you that WAMS, the authorities have given the Convergence Council the mandate to support us. So I must give kudos to the ministers as well as the governors of the central banks of the member states for their support. And all these laudable milestones we have in the roadmap, we are going to achieve it by the year 2027. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.